How long have we
Yeah,
known each other, Angourie?
I was thinking about this. Close to 5 years.
Oof.
Can you believe that? When we met, I was 15 and now I'm 20.
Wow, you
I
are so
know.
old.
I know.
I'm still 20. And when you met me, I was 21. I'm going backwards.
You're going backwards, which is honestly the way to do it.
That's the way, yeah, Benjamin Button it, right? But
Yeah, you look great, by the way.
stop it. You look great. I love that the hair is grown out.
Thanks.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's nice. I like it. But I
Thanks.
know the last time I saw you in person was in Philadelphia, maybe the day before everything stopped.
It was,
Does that sound right?
yeah, it was definitely around that time because, yes, we were
Yeah.
neighbors in Philadelphia.
Yes, we were.
We shared a wall
We did
to the
share the
apartment
wall.
in the apartment building. I could knock on the wall and say, "Hey, Tony, you there?" Because you were filming Servant at the same time that I was filming Mare of Easttown, and yeah, both of our shows just completely shut down. But at least we had time to
Each
hang
other.
out before then.
Yes. You make some amazing blueberry muffins.
Thank
And
you so
I am
much.
very, very sad that Hugh Plant died.
Yes, well, we have to explain. I had a I
Yeah.
had a tree. I had a Christmas tree in my apartment. It was baby. It was this big.
Yeah.
And I named it Hugh Plant after Hugh Grant, obviously. And yeah, he had to go. He had to die because like I left. Sounding
He
like I
had to
killed
go.
him.
Say it so carelessly. Just he had to go. Just
He
that's
was,
it.
I mean, I had to leave, obviously. I couldn't stay in America during lockdown. So poor Hugh Plant was sacrificed.
For your comfort. But
Well,
it brought you
yeah,
many,
I guess.
many a joy.
But
Um,
look, I've got more now,
yes,
and they're
I
all
know.
surviving.
They are all surviving. Well, first and foremost, how are you doing? How's the family? How's everything in Melbourne?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Family's all good. Where everything's opening up here now, which is we're so fortunate. I know it's we like Melbourne had a hard time with lockdown. We went into a very strict lockdown for what felt like a very long time. Um,
Okay.
but it worked. It paid off where we can go to the movies, we can go to the theater, to art galleries. It's
You're
really
almost back
nice.
to the before times.
Yeah, yeah, we've kind of found a COVID normal, as they're calling it, with masks and checking in everywhere and contact tracing. So you have to be careful though, because if you come in contact or if you're, I guess, yeah, if you get infected, then they publish in the paper everywhere that you went so that people know if they were there at the same time. So you've got to be careful wherever you go. It's like,
Wow.
do I want this published in the paper?
But also
Yeah.
everyone's gonna recognize your name, Angourie.
Well, they
Angourie.
keep them
That's
anonymous,
oh,
but they just know where you've been.
okay. Well, have you seen
Yeah.
any good stage shows? I know Hamilton just got to Australia.
I
Uh,
haven't seen Hamilton yet. That's playing in Sydney. When
okay.
it comes to Melbourne, I will definitely see it. Um, I went to comedy festival is on at the moment in Melbourne, so I've been seeing comedy. I saw Melanie Bracewell last night. She's a New Zealand comedian, so that's been really fun actually going to see comedy. Everyone is dying for a laugh.
Clearly, which is
Yeah,
why that's a perfect segment into the funniest show of this new season, Mare of
Mare of
Easttown.
Easttown.
What
Oh,
a
it's
riot!
a laugh a minute.
It's a.
How many how many episodes have you seen?
I've seen four and a half, so I'm halfway through episode 5,
Okay.
and I am hooked. I am
It's so
engaged completely.
so
This
am
is
I. I know what happens and I'm still like on
so
the
it
edge of my
still
seat,
gets
like, oh,
you.
what's gonna happen?
Is it because you're just watching yourself and you're like, wow, I am so good?
No, the opposite. I watch the scenes with me. I'm like, oh God. but everyone else's scenes.
You're fantastic. But
Thank you. Thanks.
one of my, I mean, I'm actually back in Philadelphia right now.
Mm.
Can you tell I'm putting on like a questionnaire voice? Like, I don't know. I'm doing it, and I know I'm doing it. I'm like,
You're
but
great. You're
anyway,
the next Jimmy Fallon. You're so good.
I'll take it. I'm gonna laugh at all your jokes, and we're gonna play
Please
games.
do. Please do.
What I wanted to ask, because I've never seen this done anywhere else, as well as this show, is the Philadelphia accent. You
Thanks.
guys
Yeah.
crushed it. Like I can't do it. And I'm on serving a show based in Philadelphia, and I'm not doing it. So I'm curious if you had someone there telling you about the hoagies and the Wawas and the all the different homes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. So you did have someone there.
Yeah, we had an amazing dialect coach who helped us out with everything. She actually interviewed teenagers living in the area and recorded those interviews and sent them to me so I could like listen to them and and they talked about like what they did on the weekend and where they were going to school and their friends. So it was that's how I got into it. And I think mine's the lightest in the show, which was helpful, I guess. But also the drivers on set. I mean, I'm sure you have a similar thing. Like all the drivers working for us.
Sure.
Some of them were from New Jersey, but some of them had like lived in Philly all their lives, and they had the thickest accents, and it was great to listen to them.
Yeah. I don't really have it anymore because I'm driving myself to set, but I do remember it all. Well, I see them around set, and it's always
Yeah.
fun. I wanted to ask you about oh man, you had the, how do I phrase this? You were able to shoot half of the show pre-COVID, and then
Yeah.
obviously we stopped. I think your midway point, maybe ours was like
Just past midway. We had a bit,
yes,
like 2/3, I would say. Yeah.
sure. So how was it coming back to that after? Was it a big shift? Did the story have to change, or did you guys just become extra safe? I'm curious what happened there for
Yeah,
you.
I mean, some things did have to change because they had written scenes with big crowds that we hadn't filmed yet. And then they were like, hang on, we can't film this in a big crowd. Suddenly we have to just shift it a little bit. It was hard, like, trying to hold on to that character for such a long time, because I feel like whenever I finish a job, there's so much closure to like let go of it
Yeah,
and be like, okay, this is out in the world now. I'm done with this character. She will survive. She'll be okay. But with Mare of Easttown, especially with, it's quite a dark show with lots of dark themes about grief and trauma. And so trying to hold on to that for 8 months in lockdown, felt very different. And then coming back to it as well, it was a relief to come back and to get it out and to be like, okay, I can let her go now. I don't have to hold on to this story in my heart, because it is quite sad. And so it felt, it was a nice conclusion to come back and finish it.
of course. And your character, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong because dyslexia, but Siobhan,
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 like Siobhan, yeah. It's hard because it's Irish and it's spelled differently, but yeah, Siobhan.
Siobhan. She kind of feels like the center of this family, the only kind of normal person within this fucked up family, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and was it fun playing almost the mother type to a crazed out Kate Winslet? You know, I mean, look, the fact that she eats a sandwich after that might have glass in it just goes to show like a little bit of the character.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, did you have fun playing almost the mother role in that situation?
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite fun. I mean, I think that is what drew me to Siobhan, is that she feels like the only thing that's holding everyone together. Like she's the connection between her mom and her dad and her and her grandmother and the kid as well. She's like,
Yeah.
she's kind of the go-between. Like whenever they're having a bit of a fight, she's the one who mediates. She's the one who like sends the message to the other house or the other
Right.
parent. Like she's the mediator. And it was fun. It was fun to play with that. But I think that's also like something that I just connected to, because I feel like I am similar in that I try to, I guess, make peace, de-escalate situations. I don't like conflict. And it's just an interesting part to a character, you know, who she's so young. I mean, she was my age. Like I started filming it when I was 18 and the character's 18. And
Wow.
but she feels the heavy burden of this entire family on her shoulders, and that's what she struggles with, because she wants to let it go, but she feels like if she follows her dreams, if she is selfish for a day and decides to, you know, do what she wants to do, then everything will fall apart around her. She feels such a big responsibility.
Wow. I mean, look, that's a lot, but that's
Yeah.
basically you as a human being as well. I mean, we didn't have much drama on Spider-Man, but you were always the steady rock there.
Steady rock. I love, thank you. I feel like I mean, I was always the youngest of Spider-Man as well, which
You
made it
were
different. But also I think because I had my mum there, so she
right.
was also an extension of me, like by
Well,
extension, like the responsible one, or
we
she was making
all
me
loved your
responsible.
mom. We all
Same.
loved your mom dearly. Almost
I
more
love
than
her
you.
too. Almost more than me. I mean,
Almost
honestly,
more.
that's the thing. Also, because my sister, as you know, was on the second Spider-Man with me.
Right? As your
And
stunt,
she's like way cooler than me. Sorry, what did you say?
as your stunt double, right?
As as my stunt double. Soon. She's
Soon,
she's
soon.
she's training gymnastics. She's gonna be it soon. But yeah, I always get nervous like when I introduce people to my sister, because I know that she's way cooler than me. And everyone like when they meet her, they're like, oh yeah, she's like really awesome. And it's the same. Like she loved hanging out with you. Like
Of course.
yeah.
Please ask her what's up for me while I'm um but yeah, look, you did so far from what I've seen an amazing job. I'm
Thanks.
addicted to the show right now.
Thanks so
It's
much.
part of the binge culture now, having these episodes. So I'm wondering if you've binged anything in during this time, anything new, old.
I am super late to the party, like 4 years late to the party, but I just finished watching Fleabag, which I'm obsessed with.
How
And anyone
you're,
I, t-
you're so late.
I'm so late. I'm so late, which is uncharacteristic because I hate being late. I'm usually very on time. But with Fleabag, I think I was also a bit too young because like it came out in 2016, so I was
That's
15,
right. Yeah.
and it's quite like adult, and I've only, I usually watch stuff with my parents, and I couldn't watch out with my parents because it's quite
Sure.
adult. So I started watching it. I'm the only one in my family who's seen it. So I'm like desperately like shaking people like, have you seen Fleabag? And everyone's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, hot praise. Get over it.
Duh. So that's something that I binged that I loved. And I've also been watching Gentleman Jack, which I'm not super late on that. That's another, I believe it's HBO, British HBO show, period drama based on a real woman who lived in the 1800s, and she was a landowner, which was very unusual at the time. And she had friendships with women. And then they decoded her diaries in the 1930s and found that no, she was like fully married to a woman and they lived together. And so this show, Gentleman Jack, is about her relationship with this woman and their love story. It's really beautiful. So
Amazing.
that's what I've been watching. Yeah.
Did that help you kind of get back into Siobhan since she has friendships?
Just, yeah, because I mean, Siobhan, what I loved about Siobhan's love story actually is that she's got two love interests. She's got her girlfriend and then her love interest, and that's how I
Mhm.
like characterize them in my brain, which like good for her.
I mean,
She
yeah,
she's doing so
you have more
well.
love interest than I do.
Yeah, same. I'm like, wow, Siobhan, tell me your secret. So yeah, that was, I mean, that was really exciting for me, I think, because it's such a, I think it's a really beautiful love story with her love interest, because it's another symbol of her growing up, right? Because
Right.
she's stuck in this relationship with her girlfriend, and they're high school girlfriends, like they didn't, she's great, but it's just not working anymore. And she feels like she's stuck in a rut, much like she's stuck in a rut with her family. She feels like she can't get out. So yeah, seeing breaking off that relationship and having this new love interest come into her life is, I think, a symbol of her growing up and making her own decisions, which I really loved, and I really loved to play that. And
Do you
also
feel
the
like
two,
no,
pardon?
no, sorry. I was just
Oh,
curious if you feel like you have any similarities in that happening in your real life or any of these mirroring experiences.
yeah, I think with Siobhan, definitely, because um, I that was my first job as an 18-year-old. So I didn't need a parent there with me on set. So
Right?
I mean, you remember I was
Yeah.
living alone next door to you in this apartment by myself.
Your mom texting me going, "Hey, can you just..."
Can you check up on her? And so it was a very it was a really different experience for me. I had to learn to be an adult. I, got to this apartment. There was one night, it was like my first week living alone, and I accidentally cut my finger open with a knife making dinner. And I was like, I don't have any band-aids. And it's 8 p.m. The pharmacy is closed. Like, what
Mhm.
do I do? And it was a real moment of being like, oh, I'm an adult now. I have to sort this out.
Yeah.
And so I wrapped paper towel around it, used a hair elastic to cut off the pressure. So it was like a makeshift
Nice.
band-aid. Very proud of myself. But yeah, it was a different, it was a unique experience for me filming, because I did feel like my life was paralleling Siobhan's in a way,
Mhm.
in that she was learning to grow up and break away from her family, and I was kind of thrown in the deep end, and suddenly I was living alone, cooking, cleaning, washing. I just didn't realize that, like, I wear clothes, and when I wear clothes I have to wash them.
I've known that for so long, Angourie. But isn't it funny how weird these things mirror sometimes when you're acting, how much life imitates art, and it always
Yes.
in a subtle way that you figure a connection um in some way to these characters and being like, wow, I am going through that.
Yeah. And at first you think you're so different as well. Like when I read
Yeah.
Siobhan, I was like, oh, I'm so different to her. I didn't think they were going to cast me, because I had missed out on roles before similar, because I'd looked too nice. And I think also, playing Betty as well, which, we worked
Ready?
on that
What role is
together.
that?
What was that? No one
Hmm,
seems to, it's such an indie thing. Like no one has seen it. And I really wish
really?
more people would see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Arachnid Boy something.
Okay,
Um,
I'll look it up.
yeah, you'll find it.
I'll watch it now. Criterion
And
Collection?
Betty, it's what?
Is it on the Criterion Collection channel?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
I'll
Or
explain the
National
Criterion
Geographic,
Collection.
something like that.
Okay.
So playing Betty, Betty's she's so preppy, she's so goody goody, she's does everything right. Very similar to me, actually. So I thought I would miss out on Siobhan, because I just thought, I would miss out. They would go for someone who had played characters like that before, but I was so overjoyed that they went for me, because the more I read it and the more I talked about her character, the more I connected with her as a person. And very strange how my life sort of began to imitate hers, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a strange, weird little thing that happens, but it's
Mm.
always fun when you find those little bit of, ooh, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Also, there are ways in which I feel like Siobhan is different to me, but I wish I had something like that, or I feel more connected.
sure.
It sounds weird. Let me explain. So Siobhan lives, she lives with her mum and her grandmother,
Hmm.
all in the same house. Weird dynamic, of course. And both of my grandmothers died before I was born. So both of my middle names are my grandmother's names.
Oh, wow.
So reading about this, these three women living in the house together, three generations of women, and how they interact, for me was quite, I guess, an emotional experience, because I didn't have that and I never knew my grandmothers, and I really wish I did. And I love stories about generations of women and connecting to that. And in a way, it made me feel more connected to my grandmother's, kind of, I guess, playing out this um, character who did have that growing up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. I mean, that wasn't, I guess, a similarity, but something that I still connected with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, no, I get it. I get it. It's a way to kind of almost wish fulfillment that almost no one else
Mm.
can get. And when we're somehow
Yeah,
lucky enough to do it, right? If you want to
yeah.
be thrown from a huge ship or fall down an elevator or something like that, like this is
Have
the
you been
distance
thrown
to do
from a
it.
huge ship?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That's the right way to answer that. Um, but yeah, I'm curious if you've learned anything new, or if there's been anything that you've found. I mean, I find I have to be a little. I'm a little bit. I act different now that it's COVID times with the masks and everything. You know, you feel like you have to be a little expressive. Obviously, we take it off, but
Mm.
I'm curious if you've learned anything, or like anything has changed in your method or whatever people call it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's similar to you, like going back to Servant, having these two teams, the same story, but two
Hmm.
completely different ways of working.
Yeah.
Um, I was actually like so impressed by how quickly and well everyone could adapt to a new way of working. It was quite amazing. And I think it's because everyone was so passionate about it as well. Everyone like believed in the story and also was so excited to get back to work. So if they said, you can't go out on the weekends, you have to stay in and be part of our bubble, then people were willing to do that because they wanted to work and they were
Yeah.
passionate about their work, which was so amazing. Like the I guess sacrifices that people made for the safety of production.
Yeah.
I found that, yeah, I don't know about working, like I don't know about acting. I can't think of anything that's actively changed, but I know that when I watch things now,
Ah.
if I watch something in a big crowd or if I see strangers hugging, I'm like, oh no, 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 no. Like
Yeah.
it still triggers something in my brain. And even here in Melbourne, when we're going out, like if there's a packed train, suddenly I'm like, oh, maybe I won't go on the packed train. Maybe I will wait for the next one.
Right.
Like I still have that hardwired in my brain when I watch media that was made before COVID.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
Very interesting. I don't have that, but that's
Oh,
really
really?
no,
Yeah.
no. I see that and I cry. I'm like, I want it so bad. I miss people.
That too.
What I would give for a hug. Um,
Oh, yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
now, okay, one of my last questions for of Mare of Easttown. A lot of it takes place at night, so I assume there must have been a lot of night shoots. This is something that I understand as an actor, and I noticed while I'm watching. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is your method for surviving a night shoot?
For
And
surviving a night shoot.
for people who don't know, night shoot is, most of the scenes that take place at night, you shoot for 12 hours. So you're shooting from the time the sun goes down to right before the sun rises.
Yeah.
and we're basically swapped your entire sleep schedule, and it's most likely at the end of the week you're already tired and then they've switched it on you.
Yeah.
So
It's
what are your methods
terrible.
for surviving this nightmare?
So that is a great question, and a question that only an actor would ask,
Yes.
which I love. And I'm sure you remember from the second Spider-Man when I was 17, I
Yeah.
got to go home at
You
midnight
pumpkin.
because
We all loved you because when you left, we most likely had to leave if you were featured in it. But
yeah,
when you there were certain things when you were far enough away there, they put your
yeah, they
body
still
double.
shot
We
with
were
you.
like,
Yeah.
and Gary gets to go home, huh?
I
Oh,
know, I know.
great.
So it was a rude awakening when on this job they're like, "Oh no, you're working the same hours as everyone else." I'm like, "No, but like 6 months ago, I wasn't. I was, I could go home." So my method, well, I don't drink coffee, so
Me
sugar
too.
is my coffee. So I say like high on sugar, basically. Um, like sour candy, Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms, M&Ms, anything like that. I'm obsessed with. Like, give it to me. That's what I will. That's what I will stay. That's what will keep me awake. Is going on this like sugar high, essentially.
Yeah,
Um, I also always bring something to do. Like, I hadn't started knitting on Spider-Man, but I had word searches and crosswords
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Sudoku
You had
and
that
books.
game, that
Oh my God, I
color
had that
palette
color
game.
game, yeah,
You
which
got us
everyone
all
got obsessed
addicted to
with.
it. Of
I still have that for the audience.
course.
Color game that everyone got obsessed with on Spider-Man after I started playing it. It's a grid of colored tiles in a gradient, in a rainbow gradient, and you have to, and they're all like jumbled up, and then you have to reorganize them into the gradient.
And it gets
Love
really
that.
hard.
Yeah, because all
Really,
the colors
really
get so close together. Yeah. So I always have that. And now I've started knitting. So now I actually bring knitting with me on set.
That's amazing. You are
It's
definitely the mother of the show. You are
I
knitting.
know, but then the girl who plays my girlfriend, she came on set and she was knitting too. And I was like, well, there can only
Not the
be
love
one.
interest, the girlfriend.
The girlfriend.
Okay.
She's a knitter as well. Yeah. So we were
Wow.
knitting
Okay.
socks side by side, like two grannies. It
Will I
was so
ever get a
cute.
pair of socks?
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a long list, but
Okay,
if you
that's fine.
put your name in now, I'll send you a link. You can choose your wool. I'll knit them for you. I'll send them over.
Perfect. I'm about to go to Wales. It's about to be cold, so I
You
need
will
those.
definitely need them in Wales. Oh my God.
Absolutely. But anyway. Oh,
Oh, oh.
okay. Oh. Sorry, I'll go
Okay.
faster. I'll go faster. Oh, damn. Um, you have at just 20 years old, oh, have a long laundry list of amazing projects from like the Beguiled and speaking of nice guys and girls, nice guys, Black Mirror. So I'm curious, what is each of those things each one of those projects taught you, or what has been your project that stands out as the one that you really feel was, I guess, formative? Like we all have that
Mm,
one project that kind of feels like it didn't make you or anything like that, but it kind of feels like, oh, I understand what I'm doing now.
mm. Yeah, I feel like I've been very fortunate in that each job I've gotten, it has posed new challenges. And each job I get, I think this is the hardest job I've ever had. And I think I
Good.
feel so lucky that I feel that way, because it means I feel challenged and I feel excited about it. I think that a project that really stands out to me in my mind is the Beguiled, because that was very unique in a lot of ways. It was a cast of 9, no background workers, no side characters. It was just the 9 of us all together all the time.
Right.
We only had 2 locations as well, which is very rare. We had
Sounds like a
one,
perfect COVID movie.
yeah, perfect COVID movie. Yeah, we had one location in rural Louisiana and one location in New Orleans. Just 2 houses. and we just shot there. And that was so unique for me because I guess we really formed a community in that way. When you have a limited cast, when you only have 2 locations, you really set up a base. You feel like you have a community. Also with the girls on that shoot, like there were 4 girls under 18, myself included. So we were all doing school together.
Oh,
So
nice.
we would work together and then do school and go on excursions and go to museums. And it was, I think that was really special just because of the community. And I felt so lucky to be there as well, because I had always wanted to work with Sophia. And so it
Right.
was just wild to me that I was there, that I was there with like Nicole Kidman and Sophia Coppola. Like, oh my God, what's happening? And also, I met some really amazing people on that shoot, like in the crew who I'm still good friends with. So that
Amazing.
to me was a very special job.
Well, I love that. I love that.
Thanks.
I get
Have
it.
you seen The Beguiled?
I'm gonna be completely honest. No. But I have
That's okay.
seen your rendition of the Schuyler sisters, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Cast.
So that's just an example. We just did that on set. It started off as just a thing between me and the girls, and we weren't going to show anyone because we thought it was embarrassing. And then the crew jumped on board. They were like, "Oh my God, that's so fun! Can we all be in it?" That was so nice. So yeah.
Of course. But no, it's wonderful that you say that. I mean, she's an amazing filmmaker, and
Isn't she? Yeah.
it's just our jobs are wonderful and our jobs are ridiculous at the same time, and we always just got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You say you bring a lot of word searches and crossword puzzles, but
Yeah.
you're also an avid reader.
I
You even have
am.
your own podcast,
I
and
do.
it's a book club now, apparently.
It's a book club podcast hybrid. Never
The
been done before.
the community library.
Yes, the community library. Yeah.
I did my
Well done.
research. I'm thanking my researchers over there.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm curious. What are some of your favorite books? Have you read something new during the pandemic that has either comforted you or just like you've enjoyed? Or what's always your comfort book?
Oh, always my comfort book. I would say that at the moment, my comfort book is Percy Jackson, which I know you love as well. I know. So I finished the first series, like the
Oh my
Percy
God.
Jackson and the Olympian series, and then I've started reading the Percy Jackson. What's it called? Heroes of
Yeah, Heroes of
Olympus.
Olympus. Oh, this interview is now gone. I'm FaceTiming you after this and we're talking all day.
So I'm on the last book of Heroes of Olympus now, and
Oh,
I am not going to be okay by the end.
no, when you hear all of them die.
You're such a good actor, but I can tell that you're just pulling the leg. So that's my comfort read at the moment. I've also been getting into a bit more nonfiction. I used to not really like nonfiction, but
Sure.
getting more into that now. I'm about to start reading A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. So that's
Yeah,
his book on black holes and the Big Bang and
yeah.
physics and science, which I'm excited to read because I really miss science. That's actually one thing from high school that I loved that hasn't directly translated into my work. Until I play a scientist, it won't really, it hasn't, because I loved English and I loved
Mhm.
literature and art and film, and I loved doing all of that at high school, but I also loved biology, and that hasn't quite,
Yeah.
I have to seek that out more. Yeah.
Let's get on the phone with Mr. Marvel and we'll make Betty a scientist.
Please. She's
Yeah,
got it in her for sure. A
absolutely.
scientific journalist, right?
100%. That sounds also just like you.
Thanks. So yes, that's what I've been interested in. Also because I didn't go to uni, and all my friends are at uni, so I I've been getting more into nonfiction because I want to, because that's my university now. That's my education now is books.
What is your book recommendations, your go-to recommendation, and the one you would recommend now?
Oh man, it really depends. It really depends on what someone's looking for. I
Okay.
would say I at the moment, if you're looking for like great YA contemporary,
You
which
know,
I don't know if you are,
I'm
but
always
like
looking for that.
I would recommend Elizabeth Acevedo. She's got 3 novels out,
Okay.
and she just writes amazing books about young girls coming of age, about them finding their voice, about she's her most recent book, Clap When You Land, is about sister relationships. Like it's very accessible way to get into reading, I think, is starting with books for YA readers that are about teenagers like finding their place in the world. So I always recommend her.
Mhm.
Adult fiction, I guess. I love Zadie Smith. I've really started to love um, her
Yeah,
books. Have you read
I
or
have.
do you
Yeah,
know of her? Yeah. Oh, which
I-
which of hers have you read?
I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember right now, but I've read. I'm like
You've read one of them.
I've read one of them. But again, I'm the horrible guy who will walk into a Barnes and Noble, walk out with 30 books or easily 20 to 30 books, and I'll read 5 of them and the rest will go on the shelves. And then I go back into the Barnes and Noble and buy another 30 books. So I don't remember which ones I bought and or read, but I
Yeah.
know I have them and I know
Yeah.
I've read one of her books.
Yeah, so I've just started. Hey, no, I do the same thing. That's
Okay.
why. So what I've done is I've separated the books on my shelf. There's a special shelf for books I haven't read yet, and a shelf for books that I have read, which is how I distinguish. So Zadie Smith, I'm in love with her writing at the moment. So yeah, I think, and over lockdown, like I definitely went back to childhood favorites like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, Twilight. Like I
Okay.
went back to those because I was
Yeah.
sad
Well,
and
everyone
needed
needs,
something comforting.
yeah, absolutely. Everyone goes back to their comfort shows, comfort reads.
Mm.
Um, this is a question I know the answer for myself. There are 2 characters I would die to play, but if there's a book to movie adaptation of any book, what book would you want to be the main character in, or play a character, or what is that book?
Oh my God. Okay. That's a really big question
I know.
because my answer was always and continues to be Emma Woodhouse from Jane Austen's Emma, which they just remade. So like obviously they're not gonna do that again anytime soon, but like I would love to play her.
Mhm.
Um I would also, you know, Shakespeare gets a lot of hate. I mean, we know he's like he's Shakespeare, but he does everyone's like, Shakespeare's so boring, but I do think playing Juliet or even like
Or
I really do think that he's great. Wow. Controversial opinion. Shakespeare is actually really good.
I mean, oof,
Front page news. That's the headline. No,
yeah,
I would
right.
love, I think playing something in a Shakespeare, I think it would be a massive challenge to get around the language and the rhythm, but it's a challenge that I would love because I love that nerdy shit. So
I think you would
yeah.
be great, absolutely wondrous
Thanks.
in a. I don't know if you ever saw Coriolanus with Ray Fiennes.
No,
He
no,
did
with your
a
best friend.
adaptation. He did an adaptation in a modern setting.
Mm,
All the dialogue was the same. I
yeah.
think you would do well in something like that, but as a young Hamlet, as a female
Young
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Yeah, as a
I
female
read
Hamlet.
Hamlet last year, for the first time. I hadn't read it yet, and I actually really identified with him. He's just a moody teenager who is like emo.
Front
And I
page
was like,
news,
yes,
Angourie Rice says Hamlet is a moody teenager.
he is. He's so moody. I actually really enjoyed it. I would love to play Hamlet. I would love to play Juliet.
Mhm.
Macbeth. I really loved Macbeth actually when I
Yeah.
studied it. But wait, so now I'm intrigued though. Who would you love to play? What are your, because you know your answer. You had it ready to go.
So my answer that will never come to pass anymore
Why
is
not?
The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho. His an adaptation of his, which is already
Yep.
happening. So, disappeared.
Will they always make remakes?
This is true. Maybe in like 40 years when I'm still looking like I'm 18. Um,
Yeah. Well, because
and
you're aging backwards.
yeah, I'm aging
So
backwards. So yeah, and then once I hit 0, I come back again. So um but that, or I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm a little too old now, but Leo in the Percy Jackson series. Right?
you would be such a good Leo. Oh my God.
I'm dyslexic. I have ADHD. It's perfect for me. Disney, what are you doing? Cast me.
Such a good Leo. Oh my God.
Thank you. I know.
That's
So
and
we'll
like
see.
I always wanted to be Annabeth as well, but
You
I'm too
could
old
you
for that now.
you could totally be Annabeth.
Okay, so
You're
in
younger than
the
I am, so if you can't be Annabeth, I can't be Leo.
okay, so when they do like where are they now and it's a flash forward, I'll be Annabeth, you'll be Leo. It'll be
Great,
great.
great, great. Let's call Mrs. Disney and we'll figure this out.
Mrs. Disney, hello. Yeah, great. Good answer.
Right? I know. It's a fun one, bringing it all back. Listen, if you want to do a podcast on Percy Jackson, you let me know. I am the
Yeah.
I'm the first person in line. You should be calling for that one.
Yeah, because when the Disney adaptation, when the Disney show comes out, the Disney Plus show, I'm going to be all over it. I'll be calling you saying, let's watch it. We'll do an episode on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I'm ready. Um, do you have any dream? I mean, look, you have an extensive list of people you've worked with. One of my dreams is Ryan Gosling. So like you've topped my list already. So I'm curious, do you have any people like you've worked with Kate Winslet on this? She's amazing. Is there
I know
anyone else?
she's amazing. She's
She's
amazing.
amazing.
Anyone else? Oh my gosh. So many people. Well, I would love to work with your best friend, Saoirse Ronan. She's amazing.
Yeah, my best friend, Saoirse
Well, you know,
Ronan.
you worked with her.
Yeah, of course.
I would love to work with her.
Of course.
Because I recently watched Promising Young Woman. I would
Yeah, of
love to work with Emerald Fennell. I would love to work with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That would be the dream.
course.
I think, I mean, yeah, Promising Young Woman. Also The Farewell,
Yeah,
Lulu Wang a
Lulu
few
Wang.
years ago. I
Yeah, of
really
course.
loved that and I loved her style. So I would love to work with her. So many people.
All the people,
Or everyone.
everyone.
And you again. I want to work with you again.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get that in the works. Come on, Mrs.
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
Um,
A
no,
Flash and Betty spin-off. We've been talking about this for years.
we have been talking about this for years. Flash and Betty spinoff. You're
By
the
their
journalist.
powers combined, they will bully everyone and rule the world.
Yeah,
Like,
because I
I
mean,
don't
she
make the
is
rules.
a little bit of a bully. In the
Oh yeah,
second movie,
she's a little bit mean.
she's strong-willed. We'll say
Yeah, she's ambitious, and if anyone gets in her way, like
she cuts
that's
them down.
yeah. And you know, Flash is deeply insecure, so they'll help each other out, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Massively, massively. Insecure. Just all the insecurity. If he's not even 70% water, it's 70% insecurity. Um, okay. I have to ask this. What's it like working with Kate?
It's amazing. Do you think I would say anything else? Like she's amazing. She's
Kind of
so
hoping for a
she's
different answer. I'm kidding.
you're
I'm
hoping I'd
kidding.
be like, oh, she's terrible. She she is
No.
incredible. I mean, you know, she's got such an extensive body of work and she is consistently brilliant in everything.
Okay.
Um,
I have worked with some people that have made me nervous whenever I'm on set. I stand up a little straighter, I
yeah.
act a little harder, and then I've worked with some people who have made me feel very comfortable when, yeah, sure, they're fucking top of the game,
Mm,
A-list, amazing, yet they make me feel like I can relax. Which of the
yeah.
two is Kate?
Oh, she makes everyone so relaxed.
Oh,
Like she was
sounds right.
so generous. Also, because she has a daughter my age, so it was quite nice because she was like, I know you're here alone, like anything you need. My daughter's like overseas at the moment. Like, so that was really nice. And she makes everyone feel at ease because she's always doing funny impressions. She's always having a laugh. She like it's
She ever do an
you
impression of you?
really not to my face.
Well, let's bring her
No.
out here. Come on,
Yeah.
Kate.
So she's so generous and yeah, made everyone feel comfortable. And because, the show is her and all these characters revolving around her, all these different scenes with her, and she's obviously the central force of the whole show.
Yeah,
And she worked with so many people, there are so many characters, but she still made me feel so comfortable and welcomed, and all the kids in the band as well, and just everyone, like, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Oh, of
Yeah,
course she's great.
of
She's
course
great at
she's great.
everything. Um, Nearing the end, I'm gonna ask you, do you have any upcoming films or TV projects that you're excited about or are coming out? Give us the
Nothing.
IMDb rundown.
Oh, nothing that I can tell you about, unfortunately. I know,
NDAs, we love
I know,
those.
I know, it's all secretive.
Oh my God.
But I mean, Spider-Man's coming out, what,
Yeah,
the Boxing Day
yeah, yeah.
of this
Yeah,
year? I
sure.
think in Australia, I think it's Boxing Day. So that'll be fun to see that.
What is Boxing Day? Is that Christmas?
No, the day after Christmas. Oh, this is the thing. I don't think Americans do Boxing Day.
No, we don't do Boxing Day.
So I think it's a UK and Australia thing. The day after Christmas is called Boxing Day, and that's usually when a lot of movies come out. You go and see a movie on Boxing Day.
I think we come out the week before Christmas or something
Right,
like that. I think it's like December 19th or something like that.
right. Yeah.
But I'm so excited. We did not get to work together on this one.
I know. I know. It was so
Even
tragic.
though there's going to be some movie magic that makes us, in a scene together. We love it. I know.
How much, Tony, how much, shush.
I
You're gonna
mean,
get Mr.
listen,
Marvel calling you saying like, Tony, what have you
listen.
done?
They're not worried about me. They got Tom to worry about. We're fine.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine. We're
Uh, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to, yeah. It's quite emotional, seeing like,
yeah.
because same thing. Like I started on that when I was 15, and now seeing Spider-Man come to an end, it's like that's 5 years of my life. Like I graduated high school in that time.
I mean,
Mm,
it presumably will still be out in theaters by the time you turn 21, which will
Yeah,
make it 6 years, which is
6 years of
insane.
my life. Wow, yeah. And my life also in a weird way like paralleled Betty,
Yeah.
because
Very true.
she went to prom, she got her first boyfriend, like I was doing that at the same time, like it was like same trajectory of our lives. It was very weird.
Same. I was going to prom. I wasn't
You're
going to
going to
I
prom,
was already
but
graduated. I was the complete opposite, where I was like, oh, I never went to prom or homecoming. I'm getting to do it here. And then actually, that's funny enough. Flash never went in the first movie to homecoming. He never stepped in because his car got stolen. So
oh
that's what we
yeah, because
did.
I went to homecoming,
You went. I didn't go. My
but
core memory.
homecoming isn't a thing in Australia, so
No. But it was
that's
basically
my only
prom.
home. Pardon?
But it's basically prom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the second film, I actually went to my prom. I missed out on the. Do you remember? I missed out on the cast dinner because I went to prom instead.
Oh, that's wrong. I do remember this.
I know. I was like, cast dinner, prom.
You made the
Gotta
right
be
choice.
prom.
You made the
It's gotta
right
be
choice.
right. It's gotta be prom. Yeah.
it's always
Sorry.
prom. You want to be swept away. And like,
Yeah.
Prince Charming's there, his hair
Yeah.
swoop back and forth,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
Princess Charming, Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, all right, so things are opening up. Like
Things,
I just
yes.
got my double dose, so I'm good.
Yes. Yes. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
about that. That's so good to hear. And so when do you head to off to Wales?
Soon is what I'll
Mhm.
say. Now,
Soon.
now, now I have to be cryptic here.
Oh,
Soon.
okay, okay. I'll text you later. I'll ask
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah. We'll
it.
FaceTime after this. Um, but no, things are looking better. The world is kind of slowly opening up and trying to survive the aftermath of COVID and everything. I'm curious, do you have any personal or professional goals that you have set yourself for 2021 as things are blossoming a little?
Yes. Yep. Yep. My big goal for this year is to do a front somersault
Nice.
and
Not a
to
front
do
flip, a front
five
somersault.
and to do 5 chin-ups. Those are my two goals. Um, I'll tell you all about this later, but basically, my sister's a gymnast. I
Yes.
started doing adult gymnastics at my sister's gymnastics club.
Yes.
Thanks. So I'm learning to do a front somersault. That's my goal. That's my goal for this year.
Okay, okay. Both you and I have this similar thing in that our siblings are far cooler than us, and two,
Yes.
can do far more things with
Yeah.
their bodies. My
Yeah.
brother's a parkour athlete and teacher.
He's, yeah.
So next time you're in LA, bring Calliope, we'll all go. They can
Yeah.
show off and do all the
Yeah.
stuff, and you and I can practice our somersaults.
Exactly. Yeah.
With
That sounds so good.
right?
I just
Because
remember
I'll have
going
someone
roller
at my
skating.
level. As for
I
the
just remember
chin-ups,
going, yeah, chin-ups.
As for the chin-ups, you got this. I believe in you. Just text me
I
every day and we'll work on them together.
Yeah, I did banded chin-ups this morning actually at the gym. So I'm
Oh,
working to get them without the band.
mhm.
Which I am confident I can do it. I just remember going roller skating with you as well. That was really funny.
I actually ran into some of the people on Servant who went, and they were showing me videos of me absolutely terrified. And there's one video, I'll get them to send it to me and I'll send it to you, where you're kind of pulling me along and then you let me go and you just see me freeze. And I just start rolling and people are just whizzing by me and I'm like, this never should see the light of day. But you
Yeah.
were
I don't
all
know if
grooving and dancing.
I enjoyed roller skating. I sent you a video. I took my sister to the
Yeah.
skate park. I mean, again, she's way better at skating than me, but I loved roller skating. So yeah, that's right. We'll live in our siblings' shadow for like athletic stuff, but we're trying, and that's the thing that counts.
Yes. Look, it's always something that we can try. I'm
Yeah,
77 now, so it might be tougher, but you know,
yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like they're gonna cut half of this out. They're gonna be like, "This is what are you talking about?
What is talking about? Who's Calliope? What's parkour?
What is what is parkour?"
Okay. Oh, I actually did have a game. Well, it's not a game, it's a question.
Yeah.
Who which name do you think would be harder to spell or people would get wrong? Angourie or Siobhan?
I think Siobhan, because even on set, people are still saying like Siobhan. Yeah. Also,
Sorry.
because I feel like in Australia it's slightly more common, maybe because of our connection with the UK and Ireland. Like
Sure.
Siobhan is an Irish name, so I know a few Siobhans here, but
Oh,
in America, like on set, very few people had heard of Siobhan. Um,
yeah.
I think Angourie is tricky, but like once you just learn it, also because once you learn the correct way, it's pretty phonetic the way that it's spelt out, whereas Siobhan is kind of
Sure.
hard because, but yeah, it was funny
Very
because I
cool.
had to start correcting people for two names. I was like, it's Angourie and also it's Siobhan.
Do you have a little rhyme for Siobhan as well? Like Angourie, like flowery?
Angourie rhymes with flowery. Siobhan. No, I don't, but I should.
Hey, season 2.
Season 2.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
I'll
Tony like baloney. Tony like
oh, baloney. There's a lot. Everyone's been rhyming my name for centuries. So also if they read that name, they're like, oh, Tony, Tony. It's simple. It's the
yeah,
revelry that gets people.
the
So
Revelori.
everyone's like ravioli.
Look, it's a burden having a last name that, well,
Is
for me,
food
is
right?
a food. Rice, yeah.
Well, one day we'll start our own podcast called Ravioli and Rice.
Oh my God, how cute. I love that.
But also, that's a very carb-heavy dinner.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say no.
No, never. I mean, I'll have to lose the weight eventually, but
As long as there's no chocolate in it, we're good to go.
exactly. Wait, are you allergic to chocolate too?
No, I'm saying because of
Oh,
you, because I
okay.
remember that you're allergic to chocolate.
Yes, this is correct. This is correct.